What's going on, everyone? This is Tom with another Toy Ramble, and the month of June continues as Ninja Month, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the JoyToy Ninja Turtles Slash. This came out a while ago, and by a while ago I mean maybe a year? Maybe a little bit longer, but I remember when JoyToy first announced that they were going to be working with the Ninja Turtles line, and pictures of them started popping up, and people got really excited because they should. And if you know anything about JoyToy, they're probably most known for their Warhammer series, and that series is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal line of figures. The other thing is a little pricey. That's kind of the other thing. So when they announced that they were doing Ninja Turtles, my first thought was, oh, cool. And then pictures came out and I said, those look great. And then I got them. But then my other thought was, okay, that's it for me. I have the Ninja Turtles. Unless they do Slash, because Slash is always kind of my bar for whether or not I'm going to get into a line that a toy line or a new company is doing. If they make Slash, I'm in. So JoyToy said, done. So they made Slash, and even though they did make him, again, they're a little pricey, so I wound up having to sell a few things and eventually managed to get my hands on Slash. The other kind of slightly prohibitive thing about JoyToy, if you live in the United States, is that the official JoyToy website does not ship to the United States. So if you want to get your JoyToy figures, you have to kind of either go on eBay or AliExpress or find somewhere else to purchase them and then have them shipped here to the US. So without any further ado, let's take a look at Slash looking all great and amazing in his box. No artwork, but lots of really good high quality shots of the figure itself. Some random text confirming it's Slash, because of course it is, and more excuses to stop wasting time and removing this guy from his plastic prison. Oh, that's kind of cool. They've got random text on the inside of the actual box. The pizza power and party and go turtles. Lean, mean, and green. Heroes in a half shell. That's actually really neat. I like that. Ooh, plastic trays always make me nervous because it's like playing the game Concentration from the 80s, where if you accidentally pop, everything goes flying everywhere. And here we go. Slash is free of this box and ready to be messed around with, but not too much because you don't really want to mess with Slash and catch him on a bad day. So let's take a man. I almost don't know where to begin with all the detailing they did on him. I like that this is the version of Slash that they decided to go with. There is the more toy-like version of Slash, the more kind of Archie Comics version, where he's a little bit meaner in look, darker in color, versus the cartoon version of Slash, which is, cartoon, which kind of says everything. That version is a little bit more goofy, a little bit more silly. This looks like it is a little bit of a combination of the two, where they've gone with the more greenish coloring, which he did have in the Archie comics, but it also seems to combine a little bit more of the way that the armor is laid out. They've gone a little bit it's not futuristic, but maybe post-apocalyptic with him, where they've got, he's got the kind of the chain gauntlets, which look really nice. He's got the shoulder pads, which were on the original, so that is really cool. Kept his traditional black mask with the one bad eye. Really great detailing on this. I love the black wash on the shell. Like, this makes all that amazing detailing pop. He's got all the detailing on the arms. The scaling looks really good. It looks very turtle-like, and I know with reptile characters that can be a little bit of a challenge because it could very easily kind of look either like a snake or maybe more of a gator-ish, and this really does a good job of mimicking. If you're familiar with the way that turtles look and the way that their scales kind of lay out, this is really close, really on point. The knee pads look really good, and again, like this kind of adding a little bit of a black wash over the already dark green tone of the skin with the plastic, really nice. Right down to the toenails, and I expect nothing less because JoyToy is incredible with their detailing. Again, if you're familiar with their Warhammer line, they nail all kinds of really, really nice, minute details. Their paintwork is stellar, and I love that they spared no expense and put that same level of effort into the Ninja Turtles line and into Slash. And added a few little interesting and kind of disturbing touches here, like having these two metal holders just stapled right into his shell. Because why wouldn't he have that? This is so good. I'm so glad that I managed to get my hands on this guy. So Slash stands at about 4 inches, which, I'm not gonna lie, one of the few things that I do not like about this Slash is that size. Now I know JoyToy, kind of as a whole, this is kind of their scale. A lot of their figures are kind of that 4-inch scale. They're all kind of in line with each other. But for the kind of character that Slash is, I feel like he should tower over the other Ninja Turtles. You know, IDW handles that really well as the Nicktoons version of Slash. I don't need him to be a gigantic kaiju, but I do think that he should stand at least a head, maybe 2 heads, maybe larger than the Ninja Turtle. Like, he should dwarf them because he himself is I consider him a super mutant. They have made a few other characters for this line. I believe they've made Bebop and Rocksteady. They've done Crown Chuck and Dirtbag, which were just way out of left field, and I am trying to get my hands on those as well. But I feel like Slash should be, having seen pictures of him next to those other characters, he should be one of the larger characters, you know, looming in the background there. But that is a minor quibble compared to all of the amazing detailing and all of the great work that went into this figure. The engineering is fantastic. The look of the shell is on point. I love how, yeah, and again, just little things like the way that it looks like the spike is kind of erupting from the shell because it's got all that damage on the sides. Really good. If you're into JoyToy, if you like Ninja Turtles, get your hands on this guy. Now let's take a look at his accessories because he has quite a bit. JoyToy does not skimp on the accessories. Some of these, I don't know if you even need all of these. So Slash comes with, to start, a whole bunch of hands. Alright, so we've got some Slash hands here. We've got kind of an open clawed reaching hands going on there. We have looks like this is kind of a grasping hand. So probably put a weapon in these hands here. And you've got your plain old fist hands for when Slash needs to give you a good wallop. He also comes when it's kind of funny, I was just talking about how my preference is for the more toy Archie comic version, but this looks like this is a cool interpretation of Slash via the cartoon, where he had that metal mask. He didn't have a black mask in the cartoon version. He had that weird kind of metal version that went over his face that had the eye already blacked out. This is pretty cool. I like this. I did not think that you could make me enjoy the cartoon version of Slash, and this does it. Good job. Oh no, do I need to get 2 of these? Because this head actually looks really good on the Slash body. Good job. Nah, I still prefer the Archie head. Still kind of prefer the there we go. But it is very cool that you get this with the figure. That is a nice way to increase your options. The Slash also comes with a big old chopping weapon. I don't know what this is called or if there's an official name for this kind of weapon. He comes with a weird kind of like bluster gun, which is interesting. This is not the kind of weapon I would imagine Slash would have, but why not? Speaking of the kinds of weapons I would not imagine Slash having, Slash comes with an alien beer mug. Oh, maybe that's just a skull. Sorry, I thought that was an alien skull. It is not. It is just a skull of beer. Oh, with a slashed eye. I wonder if this is his own special brew of some sort of a drinking liquid, which is not what I would imagine Slash would have, but this is what you got. You get a couple of baby knives for Slash's stabbing pleasure. See, this is interesting. These swords are really nice, but they also really remind me, again, of the cartoon Slash. So if you wanted to, I guess, go full cartoon version of Slash with this figure, you could do that and give him kind of the appropriate weapons. But yeah, so you can get a slightly more cartoon-accurate Slash with a more realistic style design to him, which is very good. It does not take away from this at all. He looks great. He comes with a lobster sandwich, which is very weird. You get a lobster sub or a lobster hoagie, depending on where you live. I don't know why he would need this. I figured this would be something more for Leatherhead, but why not? And you get these two sets of really cool looking claws that Slash can hold in his hands. Now, I'm gonna give you your other head back. So this is their interpretation of Slash's kind of signature claws that he has coming off of his wrist. It was always kind of a slight nod to Shredder, I felt, where it was a turtle with more Shredder style influence, and this is an interesting interpretation of that. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of wish that instead of having these handheld blades, that they had just sculpted his claws onto his hands instead of having the kind of the knuckle dusters. If he had the claws just coming off of them, but I don't know if that would have made it more difficult for them to have had all of the blades on each individual set of hands. Maybe they were looking at cost, but this does look cool. Like, I do like Slash having these extra blades, but I would much rather him have those two claws coming off of the wrist, because that looks really cool. That's always been kind of a signature look for him. We are not done yet, because Slash also comes with Lil Slash. Oh, look at him. Look at little baby Slash. He's still kind of grouchy. Let's see, get you to, there we go. Little baby Slash. He's tired of you. He is tired of your guff. He's gonna grow up and be big and strong and eat people. Yeah, I don't know if Slash eats people. The original Playmates text spec or bio for him does say he's a cannibal, and they do randomly reference that in the Archie comics, but I don't know if they ever actually show him eating other turtles. That might be like Venom, how Venom never actually ate anyone's brains until the movie came out, so who knows. And of course, Slash's signature palm tree, because nothing soothes the savage Slash like his binky. And that is one thing that I kind of liked that the cartoon introduced. For as silly and dumb as that character was, I did like that the one thing that kind of gave him some peace was his little palm tree that he remembered having as a regular turtle just hanging out in a fishbowl. So the inclusion of this, and this concept had worked its way into the Archie comics, and then it kind of became part of the canon, where Slash was from originally he was from a world that was filled with palm trees, and he was at peace, and he got taken away from it, went crazy, so that this palm tree is now all that he has left. And I love it. I love that that's included in the lore. And they have loaded him up. So we get a 1/4 of a diorama, which makes sense because the Ninja Turtles also came with their version of, each one came with a 1/4 piece of a diorama. So I imagine Slash will probably, you can probably combine this piece with, I don't know who else would come with additional pieces. I know we have Bebop, Rocksteady, Toka, Razar, Dirtbag, Ground Chuck. So I don't know who has the other 3 remaining pieces of this, but you can probably combine this and have them all hang out on it. And you get a board with nails and spikes in it as a shield. Because man, they loaded you up with accessories in this pack. That is great. I love it. So you can have Slash defending himself while he admires his palm tree. Good stuff. I like this a lot. So even though JoyToy might be a little bit more on the pricier side, you do get a lot of bang for your buck. Like there's a lot of accessories that you get with this figure, and they all kind of help enhance the figure in some way, shape, or form. I mean, some are kind of confusing, like the Slash style beer going on. I don't know quite what the deal is with that, but it is very nice. Like the sword options are really good. I do kind of wish that they had, again, the swords are cool, and this kind of cleaver weapon is cool, but I really wish that they had given him his crooked sai slash sword. No pun intended. The crooked sai sword has kind of been his signature weapon. I kind of wish that we had gotten a version of that with this version of Slash, because that would have looked really cool. Unfortunate that we did not. Now let's get into Slash's articulation, because there is a plenty. We'll start off with the articulation on the head. He's got this is on a ball socket joint, but it's also kind of a double socket the way that it fits into the body here. So that fits on there. You get full tilt. You can look around. He's got some pretty decent up and down going on there. I thought that the bandana might be movable. I thought there's maybe pegged in there so you could move it around, but you cannot. It will always be in a weird state of floating. Slash also has full rotation at the shoulder, and this is designed so well that even though he has shoulder pads, the way that they are attached, they give you enough clearance so that he can raise his arm completely up that way and hold his hand up fully and it not interfere with the articulations. That is pretty good. He has a swivel at the bicep. He also has a hinge at the elbow there, as well as a twist. And the wrist is attached to a ball socket, so you can swap out the hands. Also, it's on a double ball socket, so you get a pretty decent range of movement from that. And it makes swapping out the hands pretty easy. The material is flexible enough where you can just pop it on and off and not worry too much about any worries of breakage. He has a ab crunch, which I think is awesome, because I don't care that he's a turtle and the way that their shells are set. Just let me have articulation in my ninja slash character. So he has a pretty good range of motion there. There is also a cut at the waist, so this is 3 separate pieces. So you can twist him this way at the top, and then also twist him at the waist, which is just amazing. And this is a 4-inch figure, so this is a lot of engineering. Really nice, like well packed. There's not a lot of room to work with in here, and they managed to do an ab crunch as well as a waist twist and it not look weird, because there could absolutely have been some issues with separation, or maybe he looks like he's floating, and none of it. This all looks like one solid piece once you set that pose, and it all looks like it works. So great job, JoyToy. So you get a ball socket at the thigh, so that works out pretty well, as well as a cut towards the top, so you get a full twist there. He has a double joint at the knee, so you can get that leg fully up there. There is a pivot at the ankle, as well as a full rocker joint on the foot. Okay, so let's get Slash compared with a few other figures. Let's start off with the JoyToy Raphael, who Slash is definitely larger than, but again, I still kind of wish he was just a little bit bigger. Like you should be worried for Raphael in this encounter from the get-go. But he looks great. I love the differences in the sculpts. Like there's so much more. The Ninja Turtles definitely look like Ninja Turtles, but Slash looks like, I classify him as a super mutant, where the mutation that happened in him just went a little bit further than it did with the Ninja Turtles, so he's got a little bit more kind of a gruff look to him. And again, if you are familiar with the JoyToy Warhammer series, this would be a really nice comparison. I always kind of wondered, since JoyToy managed to get their hands on the Ninja Turtles license, unfortunately only for a limited time, I believe, I always kind of wondered if they would have been able to do a Warhammer Ninja Turtles crossover. They're already doing the Warhammer toys. They already look amazing. They already share a lot of the same kind of detailing ticks. And all you would really have to do is just take that head off and figure out some way to put the Ninja Turtle heads on these bodies. I think that would work. I think that would be fun. And since we have Ninja Turtles in all kinds of scales and sizes, we'll have Slash hanging out with the, what was this, Fury Toys, Rage Toys, 5K. The name of the company changed like once a week for 2 years, so this is Slash with their version of Leonardo. And again, I'm so sad that this line just kind of petered out. They didn't get around to doing Raphael, and I remember getting Leonardo. I had plans on getting Donatello at some point, but they just kind of disappeared. And my thought process was, as with every line with Ninja Turtles, if they do Slash, I'm in. And unfortunately, this kind of disappeared before they could get to Slash. I don't know if he was ever in the works, but it would have been cool to see him in that line. My 2 favorite versions of Slash, it's so good. I will give NECA all the credit in the world for doing this version of Slash from the Archie comics. So this JoyToy version of Slash looks very much, you know, a throwback to this, with the coloring, with the eyepiece. I do kind of wish that this was yellowed out too, but in the comics it was not. But overall, and this is what I mean with that longer sai sword weapon. I kind of wish that this version of Slash had something like that. You can never have too much Slash. JoyToy Slash compared with his Masters of the Universe Ninja Turtles crossover counterpart. And I'm not gonna lie, if they ever re-released this version of Slash in these colors, I'd get him. I'd pick him up in a heartbeat, because that would look amazing. And of course, we can't forget one of my favorite Slash figures, the Super 7 Ninja Turtles Playmate style Slash, which I think is just one of the perfect versions of this character. So good. But yeah, and again, if they ever, I think JoyToy is done with the Ninja Turtles line, unfortunately. But if they ever made him in these colors just as a special edition, man, I'd be all over it. It looks so good. So, at the end of the day, should you get the JoyToy version of Slash from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I am going to say a resounding yes, with the caveat that I love Slash. So I was always going to pick him up at some point in time or another, because if there is a Ninja Turtles line, whether it be NECA, Playmates, Mattel, whomever, if Slash appears in that line, I'm going to get it. That being said, JoyToy does what JoyToy does, and that is to provide a amazing looking figure with incredible detailing and just a chock full of accessories. The flip side of that is that you do pay for all of that. These are not cheap figures. They are a little pricey. Like, I had to sell some stuff to get my hands on this one, and it's worth it for me. It might not be worth it for you. You might only be in it for the Ninja Turtles, or maybe this is just, you know, one of the many companies that have gotten their hands on the Ninja Turtles license, and how many is enough? The answer is, there is never too much. You can never have too many Ninja Turtles, only different flavors and different varieties. But if you are not looking to collect a new line, if you're just looking to, you know, just kind of pick and choose, you could skip this. You could skip Slash and not, you know, and be fine. But if you are a fan of the character, if you're a fan of, you know, Super Mutants, he looks great. He's amazing. I think he's worth every penny that I spent on him. So I would recommend picking him up and putting him in your collection. So I am curious if you own JoyToy Slash, and if you do, what do you think of him? I think he's great, but I'd like to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments down below. So I hope that you have enjoyed this review. If you have, please leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel, share it, hit the notification bell so you know when new videos are popping up. Tell your friends, tell your buddies, and until next time, take care everybody.